there, this is your 7.4 notes. We're going to talk about the percent equation today, and the percent equation is a phenomenal tool to help you solve any problem dealing with percents. So just to give you an example, there's percents all over, and this is a great example of one. So when you guys are a little older, you might start to think about getting a job, and I'm not sure if you know this, but when you get a job, you have a paycheck, but the government takes out taxes on every paycheck that you make. So it kind of stinks, but it's something to be aware of. So let's say you work at a restaurant and you get paid $425 a week, but everybody has to pay their taxes. So the government, let's say they take 7% of every paycheck. If I were you, I would want to know how much money that is and how much I'm going to lose every month to the government. So we're going to come back to that equation in a minute, but that's the type of equation that you might have to solve with a percent in it. So the percent equation will help us figure that out. So you can set up an equation knowing a few key words, and these are going to be so helpful for you. When you have an equation or a sentence like a word problem with percents, the word is should automatically trigger your mind that that is going to be equal to. If you see the word of, that is going to mean that you're going to multiply. And of course, when you see a percent, it's going to be the percent. But it's important before you plug it into the equation that you turn that percent into a decimal. So remember, you're going to, go like, if it's a percent, you're going to go to the left, like Beyonce, 2 times to the left, okay? So going back to our government taking our money situation, if you make $425, basically what we need to find out is what is 7% of 425. So to do that, we're going to set up an equation, and we're going to look for these keywords. So let's start with example 1. So 80 is 20% of what number? So what we can do is set up this equation, just going right in a row. So 80 is, so the word is means equal. So 80 is 20%, and whenever I see a percent, I'm going to change it to a decimal, of, so I'm going to multiply what number? If it doesn't give me a number, then that's going to be your variable. So 80 is 20% of what number? So now it's just a plain old simple one-step equation. So to solve for x, which is the number that we're looking for, we're going to do the opposite. So we're going to divide both sides by 0.20. And you're going to need your calculator for this because you're going to get a bunch of decimals. So 80 divided by 0.20, you can do that in your own calculator right now, is equal to 16. So that means 80 is 20% of 16. Okay? I'm going to have you guys try this one. It's just like this one. So set it up very similar, and you're going to fill out the answer on your form. Let's try number 2. Set up a little different. What is? So when you see the word what, you don't know what that is, so have your variable. So what is equals 15%, we got to change that to a decimal, of means times 300. So this one's a little different because the x is already by itself. So to figure out what x is, I'm just going to solve 0.15 times 300. And that's going to give you 45. So 45 is 15% of 300. I'm going to have you guys try this one. So you're trying all the B examples on your own and filling that out on your form. And then the last example is just set up slightly different. So 20 is what percent, I don't know what that is, of 50. So I have to get x by itself, so I'm going to do the opposite. So I'm going to divide by 50. So I'm going to do 20 divided by 50, and I get 0.4. Now 0.4 is not a percent, which is what they were looking for. So if they ask you for a percent, you have to change that to a percent, and you would get 40%. Okay? So I'm going to have you guys try all the B's, but let's go back to our government taking our money business. So if we're going to plug this into our equation, what is 7% of 425? So let's see how much money the government's taking out of your paycheck. So 425 times 0.07, whoops, 425, why won't my calculator work? Sorry. Times 0.07. They're taking $30 every month from your paycheck. So it's just what you gotta do when you're a grown-up, I guess. Alright, so go ahead and try these B examples, and we will talk about them tomorrow, but make sure you answer those in your Google form so you can get credit for the video. Alright.